course, you've also heard of Daycare when it comes to $10 a day program. So here's what it means. Now there's 2 more weeks left to opt in to the $10 a day program. This was Trudeau election promise last fall that he was going to make sure that $10 a day daycare is brought forward to all the provinces and territories. It is something that the province of Quebec has been doing for quite some time. But when it comes to Ontario, well, it means something big because Ontario, well, daycare is expensive. The average daycare cost per day is about $70 a day. And when I say average, it's based on, there's a different price based on the age of the child who is in daycare. So now, what are the stats when it comes to daycares opting into the program where there's only 2 weeks left to go? Well, so far, 60% of Toronto's non-profit childcare centers have opted into the federal government program of the $10 a day program, and that is ahead of the September 1st deadline. So right before school starts, we're going to see where that takes us. In terms of some of these daycares who haven't opted in, well, they're worried about what their operation costs will be. The latest data that's been revealed is 535 of the approximately 1,000 licensed operators in the city of Toronto have applied to opt into the program as of last week, while 28 have signaled their intention to opt out. This participation into the program so far is based on the operation model of the center, because essentially if they opt into the program, well, the government gets to dictate the price that they're going to charge. And of course, some of that funding that's coming through the province, from the federal government to the province and to these daycares, will help, in part to pay down some of that cost. But with inflation and salaries and, all sorts of overhead in the city of Toronto, which is also a very expensive place to live, well, that makes sense to why some of them are opting out and perhaps giving parents a choice who don't necessarily need to have $10 a day daycare, but have the option of paying a little bit more for what they feel is more convenient to them. So it really is based on the business model of the childcare program. So now when it comes to Premier Doug Ford, he has visited daycare centers after reaching the agreement with the federal government for the $10 a day daycare. And he's put out the option of people being able to opt in by September 1st. Now, the city is saying that about 444 of the Toronto's 726 nonprofit centers have filed paperwork to join the program so far, with hundreds more expected to make their decisions very close to the deadline. So you have the non-for-profit daycares and you have the for-profit daycares, the privatized ones. And only 91 of the for-profit operators have opted in, which accounts for less than 30% of those centers. And so the funding would be used to reduce, the funding that's been given by the federal government is to reduce the parents' fees by 25% on average, which will be retroactive to April 1st of this year. So it goes back in date, and that's where things are at. So stay tuned with us. We're going to bring you those details as they unfold in the coming weeks, as we need to figure out what's happening. September is a big month ahead, and it's important to know where we stand.